Hey everybody, if you haven't guessed, I'm trying to do one of these a day. It's kind of keeping me sane with all the crazy changes going on in my life. But I saw a thing today on SureDog about the birthday month for Michael Bisping. He turns 40 February 28th. And I was thinking about his career. And by the way, good broadcaster to work with. I only worked with him once on the Fox desk. Prepared, he cares about the subject matter. He's generous about going back and forth. Good dude. Good dude to work with. So I was thinking about his career, and it's unique in so many ways. And he's probably one of the most, if not the most, consistent fighters in UFC history, in a good and bad way. And I'll expand on that in a second. But he doesn't have any real dynamic physical gifts at all. He's not a big middleweight. He wasn't super fast. He wasn't crazy explosive or athletic, not super duper strong. He just worked really hard and had really solid fundamentals. He's a guy, if you own a gym, you can look at Michael Bisping and go, that's how far you can get with hard work, is Michael Bisping. He just had great cardio, good heart, and solid fundamentals. He just never quit. But he didn't have like the crazy explosiveness or speed of a lot of guys in that division. So what I mean by good and bad consistency is a lot of people forget Michael Bisping was the best of the non-contenders for a lot of years. He always beat who he was supposed to beat. But he never beat who he wasn't supposed to beat. You know, Jason Miller, Alan Belcher, Dennis Kang, for people who remember those guys, Chris Lieben. Tough guys, but none of them were title contenders. And Bisping beat all those guys. But every time there was a step-up fight, Dan Henderson, Luke Rockhold, Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, he couldn't get through that ceiling. He was always the best of the ones that weren't in title contention. Chael Sonnen, he couldn't get past that ceiling. And 9 times out of 10, 9.5, almost 10 times out of 10, if you aren't past that ceiling by your late 20s, you're never going to get there. You know, once you're kind of that gatekeeper role, and all right, he's had a few chances against contenders. He can't quite get there, can't get that title shot. Because he never beat a contender in their prime. You know, you're never going to get there. And then along comes a Luke Rockhold fight. And he got a late opportunity and knocks out Luke Rockhold, who had beaten him before. And becomes champ and finishes on this run. Obviously, he lost his last 2, but won the title, beat Dan Henderson, and then big money fight against GSP. He got to finish his career trajectory on an upswing. Other fighters have made late surges. Mark Coleman in Pride in the heavyweight division, Randy Couture. Those guys were elite to begin with. Kind of had a dip and kind of came back. Michael Bisping was a mid-level guy for his entire career. And then, bam, he had that Rocky moment. And he beats Luke Rockhold. And that kind of thing, while it's such a myth in combat sports, is the Rocky moment, the unknown winning title, it hardly ever happens. Like, it happens just enough, the big, huge, you know, Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson upset, happens just enough that we all remember it. But it's the exception to the rule. It never happens. You know, it's kind of like the carrot and the stick. You dangle it just enough that fans think that can happen, but it hardly ever does. Bisping fucking did it. He fucking did it. He finished his career with an upset knockout over Luke Rockhold and became champion. And obviously finished out his career with 2 losses, but a big money fight against GSP. So an opportunity he would not have had earlier. Most guys in that middle range, that gatekeeper, not quite title contention, they spend their whole career there. And if they don't get out, they don't get out. But Michael Bisping finished strong. And it's a credit to his hard work and his work ethic and his ability to just continue wearing guys down his entire career. So, great. His birthday month, I hope he appreciates it. I hope he celebrates it well. But look at his career, and not many guys have done that. Not many guys had the finish he had the trajectory he had, stayed relevant long enough to get their opportunity. So, hey, hats off to him. Great career. Look at it. Had some really entertaining fights. Go back and check them out later on, guys.